Hello everybody, welcome to Helsdon Outdoors. In this video I'll show you how to make your stuff bag smaller. So you go from this to this. It's about half the size. To do that you have to create your own detachable spreader bars. So you need to store the spreader bars outside of the stuff bag. It's fairly simple to do. It's not for everybody. If you're going kayaking in a one-man kayak, or if you're going motorcycle camping, it may be that it's hard to fit this bigger bag into your kayak or your motorcycle storage area, but this might fit. Okay, so let's see how it's done. So what you're looking at here is the corner, one of the four corners of the hammock. And this is where the spreader bars are attached to the hammock. Let's remove the tent. And now we can see the spreader bar and the bolt and the washer that attaches the spreader bar to the hammock. So what we need to do is we need to unscrew the bolt. And of course, that's really it. Now we can remove the spreader bars and store them separately. But every time we set up the hammock, we need to go back. We need to put the screw back in, and that will take more than 2 minutes to set up the hammock. We still want to be able to set the hammock up within 2 minutes. So what we need to do is we need to replace the original bolt and washer with a pin screw. Now a pin screw is just a bolt without a head, so it looks the same in both ends. And this is a 6mm nut in there, so we need a 6mm pin screw. So we just screw it in, and that's it. Now we have detachable spreader bars that are easy to put into the existing hole here. Now we're almost done, but we have this piece of webbing that came loose. It was attached to the hammock with the original bolt and washer. This piece of webbing has nothing to do with the hammock itself. It's part of the tent construction. It's there to keep the tent away from you even in strong winds from the side. Of course you can have it loose, but then it will probably come loose, especially in strong winds from the side, and we don't want that. So we need to add a few stitches here to stitch this piece of webbing to the hammock webbing. And then we have just one hole, and it will be really easy when we set camp to put the pin screw there. We also want to do something about this sharp end of the pin screw. We don't want it there to potentially make a hole in the tent fabric. So we'll also do something about that. And we'll do that at home. So, to the man cave. So, now we're at my workshop. If you're watching this video in the future, you actually don't have to do this. You just have to unscrew the bolt, replace it with a pin screw, and that's it. Because we're planning on adding some stitches here, and also to add a little bit of cover here above the head of the bolt. So that will be done for you. But if you have the 2022 edition, you just unscrew the bolt, the spreader bar comes off, and you have to add some stitches here to keep the tent webbing attached to the hammock webbing. If you have a machine, you can use it. I do. If you don't, you can do it by hand. You just have to add a couple of stitches. It's faster with the machine, so I'll just use the machine. There, that's it. And then some on the other side as well, just to make sure. There, that should do it. There. And now we need the pin screw. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. The pin screw. Now, if you just screw it in, and remember this is a 6mm pin screw, if you just screw it in like this, it will unscrew very, very easily. So what you can do is you can either put a drop of glue in here, but that of course, if you want to go back to the original bolts, it's not a good idea to use glue. So what you can do is that you can use this kind of tape. This is a very thin tape with no glue on it. It's used on screws, and it's also used on joints in plumbing to make sure that the joints don't leak. So you just roll up some of this tape here, like that, maybe 2 layers, and now that creates a little bit of more friction. And the screw stays in place. You have to add a little bit more force. You can it won't unscrew by itself. And you want about 1 centimeter to stick out. And now it's very, very easy to put back into the original hole. And now we have the problem with the pointy pin screw there. We want to cover it with something, and I choose to cover it with a little bit of Velcro. If you don't have Velcro, you can sew on a piece of webbing or something else. I had some Velcro lying around, and this is Velcro. So I just put some Velcro on there. There, and that covers it and protects the tent. And we're done. You do this 4 times, and you have detachable spreader bars. As long as you're inside the hammock, the weight of your body will push the spreader bar into the hole and it won't come off. However, if you have kids playing in the hammock, and they do, at least my kids, they think the hammock is a swing, a roller coaster, a playground. They get in and out and they jump around. Then this is not secure, because then you don't have a body weight in there pressing up against the webbing, so it may come loose. So if you have kids, please do not use detachable spreader bars. And if you do have detachable spreader bars, when your kids are in the hammock, make sure that you secure the pin screw with something like this. This is called a socket nut. So it's just a plain nut, but it goes on the end of something, and it covers the end. There. So now the spreader bar can come off, and it's safe even for kids. And this is round and nice. It won't tear the tent fabric. And actually, I just have the Velcro, so I can just put it on like that. Also, now that the spreader bars are detachable, you have to remember which spreader bar goes where. So the head end spreader bar are longer. They're equally long, the two parts of it. The footer spreader bars are shorter. And the width of the hammock is wider at the head end and narrower at the foot end. So put the spreader bars where they belong. And that's it. Probably takes 20 minutes to do this. The cost is, well, a little bit of Velcro if you don't have it, and the 4 pin screws. Can't be more than a couple of dollars, or pounds, or euros. Detachable spreader bars to make the hammock half the size when packed. Happy camping!